Good afternoon, YouTubers. Welcome back into another edition of Astros Recap. David Artis back here. Sunday afternoon, well, turning to evening here, 5:07 p.m. So I'm back at the iHeartMedia studios here, KTRH control room. So week's finished up for the Astros as they lose the finale, and they lost yesterday. So they actually lose series to the Twins. That was a tough one, especially after losing 2-3 to them at home as well about a month or so ago, losing 4 of 6. They did the same thing last year against the Twins, losing 4 of 6. So they did beat them in the playoffs last year, which was the most important part of that, but haven't played the Twins particularly well. They did take 3 of 4 in Toronto, 4-3 a week overall. Not, as good as they had been there for a while. Sit at 46-44 now, as they're officially 90 games through the season, so 72 more to go. But yeah, sort of a disappointing end to the week, especially the rubber game. They had won 7 straight series before today, so sort of ends on a bitter taste, especially the off day tomorrow as they'll travel back home. Got a storm brewing, Tropical Storm Barrel, coming through tonight, so we'll see what sort of happens. But I want to definitely get this done, get this out there, because I have no idea what to expect really. I don't think much people do, but we're expecting something. So, but yeah, today's game frustrating. Just with the opportunities they had late in the game. Abreu got the start. Now he was awful on Tuesday. I want to say it was. Yeah, Tuesday's game in Toronto. He gave up 7 runs in like 3-4 innings. He was awful. Today wasn't good. You look at the final numbers, not terrible. 5 innings. Would have liked him to have gone a little deeper, I guess, but only 2 runs. Pitched around a lot of traffic. Defense sort of failed him there. In one of those innings, there was a play that Altuve mishandled, and then he threw it poorly. Different play, but same inning. Poorly. Instead of runners on first and third, nobody out. Ground ball to Bregman, sharply hit, goes to second, gets the out there. And then Altuve threw home, which was the right decision, but he didn't throw it. He threw it in the dirt. So Salazar couldn't handle it, and the run scored. They would have had him out by a mile if he just gets it to him in the air. Altuve made some bad defensive plays twice in that inning that led to 1 run, and when you lose by 1, that one comes back to hurt a little bit. But even late in the game, it was tied 2-2. Loper Fido pinch hit for Salazar, hit a double. You turn the lineup over with a run on second, nobody out. Altuve strikes out, Pena lines out, Bregman strikes out. That can't happen. You gotta find a way to move the runner over, get him in. Couldn't do it. They even get a leadoff single by Yanner Diaz in the 9th. Can't do anything there. None of those base runners move an inch from where they started the inning. So, and then Hader, who's been struggling lately with the long balls once again. First batter, Christian Vasquez, home run, game over. They walk it off. So, Hader's an issue. He's been pretty much an issue all year. He's had pockets of good baseball. Really, all the bullpen. You think of the back 3, the leverage guys we've talked about all year. Abreu, Presley, Hader. They've had little pockets of goodness in the year, but they've, in large part, been, inconsistent and unreliable. And I think I said this last week. When we get to the late innings in a tight game, whether it's tied, up a run, whatever it is, it's 50-50 with those guys. It's hard. Even if you trust one guy, you don't trust the other. And it sort of goes back and forth. At some point you'll trust Abreu more than Presley. Right now you probably trust Presley more than Abreu. And then can you get to Hader? And then Hader just gives up home runs left and right now. He's been a few games. This is the first one that actually cost him the game. But it happened in Toronto Monday. Luckily, Alvarez hit a 2-run home run that Monday game in the top half of the 9th, so that home run didn't, cost you the lead, and they still won. But Hader did it Friday night as well. in a game that they were up 13-5 going into the ninth inning, and they barely won that game 13-12. But Hader gave up a grand slam, and he gives another home run here. He's given up 7 or 8 home runs, but that's a big issue. Not good for a closer who can't keep the ball in the ballpark. That's not good. I mean, you give Hader $95 million, and he's just, in large part this year, not been very good. Doesn't get the job done. He's pretty good in save opportunities. I'd also like to throw something in. Those save stats kind of a stupid, weird stat anyway, because you can go into the ninth inning of 3 runs and it's still considered a save. In fact, that's a lot of the situations Hader's been put in, where he's got cushion. So if he gives up 2 runs, it's not a good outing, but he still gets the save. I think he's 12 for 13 in saves this year, overall. I think that's what Hader is, 12 for 13. But, I mean, a lot of the saves have not been, shut down, 1, 2, 3, let's shake hands and, and let's move on. It's been a struggle. But I'll even throw Abreu's more the person who just always seems to walk guys or put people on base. He usually can work out of it. Well, sometimes, not always. But, I mean, Abreu, guy starting to try to rely on. In the last few weeks, he's been pretty bad. So, but yeah, a large part, you can point to the leverage guys. They've been pretty much an issue all year, no doubt. But the offense, I feel like we usually turn to them, or that's who we should be turning our heads to. Because 2 runs off pitchers should not be that good. I don't even know. Woods Richardson, I don't know what his name is. But his last name, Woods Richardson. And, you got to score more there. And you got to take advantage of opportunities. Which the Astros, that's the issue. A lot early on in the year, their issues is not necessarily getting base hits. It's getting timely hits. They can't do that. And when they lose games, that's usually the big reason why. They don't have issues usually. They just have, it's issues. They leave way too many runners on base. They don't, make productive outs. Good teams, fundamental outs, productive outs, what I should be saying. But, yeah. But today's game was just all around frustrating, especially after losing yesterday. Holding on for dear life Friday. Played pretty well in Toronto. I mean, I could be nitpicky about a few things there, but I won't do it. They took 3 or 4, did a good job. But, in large part, just a sour taste losing both Saturday and Sunday here to close out the weekend. I think Seattle's going to win today, so the Astros will fall back 3 games back. They'll be probably, we have to wait to see what Boston does, but they're going to be about 3.5, maybe 4 games out of the wild card. Be 3.5, something like that. So basically the same, I think, division wild card. So they're not in a terrible spot. They do get an off day tomorrow. Hate going to, so many off days. So many off days, I feel like the Astros just go into off a loss. Those are always a little tougher. I know they had off days Monday and Thursday last week, and I think they actually went to both of those off wins, but prior to that, Also hate the off day Monday. Now with the storm, it's going to be sort of interesting to see how tomorrow turns out, to be quite honest with you. I know we have a roof and everything, but if things are flooded, it might be. I think regardless of the wind that this storm brings, I think regardless we're going to get a ton of rain. So we'll see. I don't necessarily know. But But 46 and 44. Hader just home runs are starting to kill him right now. He's got to find a way to keep the ball in the ballpark. Turn this up here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Got to find a way. You can't have a closer that struggles to do that specific thing. So, got some work to do here in just a second. Got to put this in, but Trying to think, McCormick continues to struggle. It's just, with McCormick, I don't know if he's a guy you look to dump at the deadline. He doesn't have a ton of value right now because he's been so bad this year. But yeah, Jake Myers has been far superior than Chas McCormick to this point of the year. McCormick missed a big chunk of time, was out, and wasn't good before, and has not been good after. Strikeouts, that's what McCormick does. He's a big strikeout guy. Not providing you with anything, not even the power. Like usually you expect McCormick to hit some home runs, got some pop in the bat, but not even doing that. So, and just striking out too much, which has always been his issue. He strikes out way too much. But yeah, up and down the lineup, Altuve. A lot of hit by pitches this weekend on both sides, to be quite honest. Alvarez continues to get hit by pitches, and that was even back in the Toronto series. Got hit a few more times. He was off today, I think because of that. He got hit around the knee, back part of the knee on Saturday. Again, it's like the third or fourth time this week. So I think that's why he was out today, but it gets the off day tomorrow. Should be back in the lineup Tuesday. Thus we'll hope. We do know injury-wise on other fronts, Bregman and, not Bregman, but Tucker and Verlander will not be back till after the All-Star break. That was sort of expected. I think Jake Bloss is going to get another start this weekend, possibly Thursday, Friday. He had another rehab start yesterday or whatever it was, but I think he's about ready to be back in the rotation. They need that. Their bullpen's also taxed with the 2 bullpen games they've had, which was Friday and then the Sunday prior. So 4 and 3 weeks, and not the worst thing in the world, but you were looking at 5 and 2 if they could just find a way to score a few more runs today and not have Hader blow it. Well, 46 and 44 is not bad considering where they were about 2 weeks ago. So, trying to think here. Pena's been hitting the 2-hole a little bit there, which is, I think he needs to be in the 2-hole. I'd like Pena in the 2-hole. But if everybody's healthy, it's probably not. You go Altuve lead off. Tucker, Bregman's hitting the 2-hole a little bit. Bregman's hitting third. Ideally, with Tucker in the lineup and Alvarez and Bregman, it's going to be probably, I would probably say Bregman hits second, Alvarez third, Tucker fourth, or Tucker third, Alvarez fourth. You can really interchange those two any way you want. Diaz has been hitting a lot of cleanup. He just needs to start. God, Diaz is a struggle to watch. I know that he gets some base hits, but golly, watching him swing and flail at pitches not even close is just aggravating right now. To see Diaz do that. Salazar's been pretty productive, at least behind the plate. From a hitting standpoint, a few catching miscues, I feel like, on Salazar's part. But he's at least been, putting the ball in play, and he's had some big hits and had a sac fly today. I'm trying to continue here down the line. Singleton does just enough to keep him in the lineup, I feel like. Pena was, he had some home runs there in the Toronto series. He had 2 home runs, one that was close and the third that hit off like the top of the wall. He was a few feet away from getting it over. But overall, I have to be happy with what Pena's been able to give us this year. He did have a little bit of a slump there after he was, consistently hitting 300 for a while. Bregman, I have to look at his numbers. It's still never going to be good enough, I feel like. And then, outfield, Loperfido struggled a little bit. Did have a big double today. Had a double Friday, drove in a few runs. So we need to see a little bit more out of Loperfido, though, and cutting down the strikeouts, which was an issue at AAA for him as well. And you got Myers, who's been okay. He also is susceptible to striking out quite a bit. He's got definitely pop in the bat, so there's that. Left field, Alvarez, some form of Alvarez. Dubon's getting a lot of playing time in the outfield, whether it's there, first base. So Dubon's hitting like 290. It's dropped a little bit, but again, he's not going to provide you a whole bunch of slugging in terms of doubles, home runs. But again, I'm not upset with Dubon really at all. Hader's an issue with the home runs and hitters just as a whole. So, but yeah, wrap things up there. I'm not gonna walk you through every game here. Hunter Brown had a rough start yesterday. First rough start, and it felt like 2 months for Hunter Brown. So he had a big quality start streak going of 6, 7 games, whatever it was. Finally, he really was terrible yesterday. So, bullpen game was just getting through it. They actually won game they won, but they scored 13 runs, so you expect to win that. Blanco's fine. I think Renell Blanco's been okay. We'll see if Jake Bloss comes back this weekend, possibly Thursday, Friday is what I've heard. Eric Getty was better today, but it was still a struggle to get through just 5 innings. Pitch count ran up there. It's like 100 pitches after 5, so. But he battled through it, only getting up 2 runs. You would take that, I think, from him. And then Framber Valdez is it's anybody's guess whether he can contain his mental side of the game that he can't seem to control. So, yeah. But Framber hasn't been good, particularly his last few starts either. So, yeah. Well, I'll wrap things up there. We'll talk to you next Sunday, most likely. I do have the entire All-Star break, actually, to talk to you, so maybe it won't be Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't want to wait too long. And if I'm here and I got time like I do today, we'll see. But, yeah, I got to get this thing put in, so I'll wrap things up there. I got these weather updates I got to do every hour to put them in the other stations. Anyway, wrap things up there. We'll talk to you next week. Hit that like button. Of course, share it with your friends. Comment section. I like it all there on YouTube, so please interact. What did I leave out? What did I forget? What are your thoughts? All ears. But, yeah, I'll wrap things up there, and we'll talk to you at some point next week.